Hey everyone, I'm back on live. This is Bighorn MT Sean, back home in West Palm Beach, Florida. So I finally got everything up and running. I had to come back on here and get the chat to show up on the right side of my MacBook Pro. I'm not using Prism Live Studio tonight because it's on my phone. I haven't quite figured out yet how to get it on the Mac. But if anybody else knows elsewhere or otherwise, let me know, please. So just seeing if anybody will join. If you're there, you know, don't be shy. Please send a message in the chat. Let me know who's on. Be interested to see who pops in here. It's 10:16 here Eastern Daylight Time, and I'm still going to be up for quite a bit. I had 2 Red Bulls today and had a coffee earlier, so I'm pretty much going to be up for after midnight sometime. But we'll wait a couple minutes, see who pops in here. Hey, Juanita, how you doing? This is my first time coming on here live like this, where I've actually looked at the camera because last time you guys seen, I did a live stream in Toronto on August 24th. That was the night before I flew back to Florida. So I'm in here live doing this for the first time. Hey, Harjot, good to see you. Am I replaying? I'm hoping it's still live. It says I've been live for 2 minutes and 7 seconds, so maybe it's a little glitchy. I'm not using my cell phone service, thank God, because I have to get that updated. I have to get my data updated as well as see if I can get hotspot. Right now, I'm on Wi-Fi, so um, hopefully we can get that straightened out so I can go live from downtown West Palm here. If you guys haven't seen this, I got the CN Tower shirt on here. So, live from the CN Tower. So, sporting that today, around West Palm Beach, and got a few people that gave me compliments, that, acknowledge me, and, you know, everybody was real friendly today. I don't, usually people are friendly in general, but especially tonight, or today, I should say. Um, guess they probably think I'm Canadian. Canadian, eh? You know, um, believe it or not, I actually pronounced Toronto. And then I had to enunciate it for some people and say Toronto, which I found out that's how the tourists say it. Is that correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. If Yeah, it's good to see all you guys too. Yeah, this is a definitely replay from the meetup a week ago. I can't believe it's already been a week. Jeez, where's the time gone? Um, to fill you in on you guys a little bit about what's going on with me. As I told you that I had the surgery at the end of July. That was for the Inspire device, which I can come on here another time. I just have to grab the remote, but I'll try to put a link while I'm doing this in the chat, and you guys can look it up for yourself. And this is the link right there. If you happen to look it up, this is exactly what I had done, and it describes everything if you go to the videos. But yeah, hopefully this device works. It gets turned on September 4th, and I get better sleep at night. But there was one other issue I got going on with my hemoglobin, my blood levels. They had to do a bone marrow biopsy on Thursday, and basically they had to go and where my pelvis is, and in the back, and drill to get bone marrow out, and get urine, or not urine. What am I saying? No, no, wrong chat. No, blood samples from me, labs. So um, they had to do that, and they're gonna just check my blood and make sure everything's okay. And um, just wait to hear back, to see what they can do. There's a couple options, to make sure my blood levels are normal. Um, I'm human. We all have health issues, but I'm not letting that slow me down at all. So try to have a little sense of humor in the chat. I know I said that little bleep a minute ago, but I'm only human, make mistakes and talk about something else. My mind wanders, you know. Believe it or not, people don't think I'm 42, but I am 42 years old. So I've been told I look 30, and some days on good days, and then bad days I look my actual age or older. So I see there was 4 people there before. Thanks, Juanita. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm 20, not a day over 21. Juanita. Actually, I didn't think I was going to come on here tonight. If you hear some background noises, that's my roommate in the other room. So, I don't live by myself. In this time and age, you know, paying rent by yourself, I can afford it, but I'd rather not pay the extra money and have it for other things. Traveling. You know, it's okay to have roommates and stuff, and we have a lot in common, so that's a good thing. Guys, if you haven't tried these, the bubbly raspberry, it's just sparkling water, and they're not bad. But if you ever try Waterloo, that's a good brand. Sparkling water. Yeah, Juanita. Yeah, best roommates during these times. Yep, that's exactly right. Because the way this country and things are being run right now, it's hard to say where it's going to go. But I promise, like, I'll have a better, better background. I turn on. I got a light. I got a projector in my room, that projects on the ceiling, and projects different colors, and I could change colors of the. I can have it be red, yellow, green, blue, orange, purple, pink, um, and you see the little blue dots that are floating around that are going in that direction. That's laser. That's a laser light. So it's got the laser light, and it's got also the colors that bounce off the ceiling and make it reflect in the room. And then every once in a while, the laser comes shooting through here. Doesn't go in my eyes or anything. It's because it's pointed directly at the ceiling. So, yeah, it is pretty cool. I turn it on at nighttime to help me sleep. It's I don't like being 100% dark, so I like to have the light on in my room, and I usually just turn the laser lights on at nighttime, and I turn the other light off because it's too bright. But um, yeah, so I'm just in my room. I'm in my bedroom, so I can probably go up in my loft, which is upstairs, and do a live stream up there eventually, and then I can show you guys my DJ equipment, which I'm trying to build like a studio type of thing and eventually have one. But it's one day at a time. It's not going to happen overnight. It is pretty costly to build that stuff. Yeah, Juanita. Yep, I definitely will get that get upstairs to show you that. Slow and steady. Yeah, I agree. I'm pretty glad that I've got on here to do this because typically I wouldn't get on here to do this, because I'm kind of camera shy, but I've kind of gotten over that fear, fear of audiences or fear of that stage fright, if you will. I've gotten over that. Well, here I am, the guy that's behind the voice that you hear in the train videos that I have, in the Toronto live stream I did last weekend, and this is the guy behind the DJ, booth, you know, doing all this, making the mixes and everything. And I do everything, all the mixes on my MacBook Pro. Had to buy a new one last year. It's not cheap, unfortunately. And I have the equipment upstairs, which is brand new still. I just got it a year ago. It's a Pioneer DDJ Flex 10, if you don't know what that is, but I could put a link in the description if you guys bear with me and you guys can see it for yourself. Let me get to the website here. You guys can see what it looks like, what I actually use. I'm just pasting that here. So that's my link to the Pioneer DDJ Flex 10, what I use, what the equipment I have. And it ties into my MacBook, and then I see everything on the screen, and then I pick my tracks and upload them into the whatever turntable I want, the left or right turntable, and then I start doing my mixes. So got to get a couple of lessons on it on the new equipment, because I'm getting used to it, and I just want to know if there's any tricks um, that I don't know yet. That as I learn it, there might be something else that, oh yeah, I know how that works, and oh wow, that's cool, But another thing I've been doing too, to keep my knowledge up to date, is looking at YouTube videos as well. That's YouTube has got everything. Pretty amazing. See if anybody else joins in. See who's out there. Hardjot, are you still there? Yeah, Juanita. I mean, YouTube is pretty amazing when you could type in any track that you might think of that you might know or don't know. You can always use Shazam, which is a best kept secret that I don't tell anybody, but I guess I'll just share it. And then also SoundHound, which is another one, but Shazam works the best. That you can use that and look up tracks if you're not sure what it is. Like what artist, oh, I really like that track. I want to know who it is. And then you can just type it into YouTube and there might be videos for it, and have the full tracks. And sometimes the track you hear, like on if you hear it on Sirius XM, I listen to channel 53, which is chill. Sometimes they just play a full just a regular version of the song, and there's some tracks out there that are dance music tracks that they have an extended version, and that typically, you'll hear more of the beats. They cut it short to kind of water it down a little bit, unfortunately. And you know, YouTube is really good about putting everything up if you want the short version or if you want the extended version. Another place you can go to as well to download tracks, you can go to beatport.com. Now, Beatport has pretty much everything like related the dance category. Oh, no problem, Juanita. Glad I can share it. This is kind of a live exclusive, chat. So it's for anybody to be on. I know it's after 10 p.m. I put it as no kids being on. So, but I'm going to keep it PG rated. And I've been on for 15 minutes now. So, we're going on 16 minutes. Looks like I got 4 people on, but I don't know if anybody is just popping into the chat or they're still getting logged in. But I'm still trying to figure out how to add mods to my channel and then how to get the Nightbot in there. I know there's a link that you gotta type in Nightbot or Google it, and then somehow there's a way to put your YouTube information and then get it uploaded. But I'm not there yet. I gotta get the cell phone thing figured out first, and then I can kind of work on getting people added as mods and also get the Nightbot up and running. I did add somebody. Let's see if this works. Oh, you're welcome, Anita. Glad to have you here. But like I said, there's 2 other people on that are watching, but I don't know if they're going to say hi or not. Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Hi again. Hopefully, you can join in. We could stay on here probably 30 minutes and then sign off. And then I've actually got some energy tonight to actually start working on Mix 12. DJ Sean Scott to Mix 12, which I put off since technically May. I was supposed to release it, but I didn't, because I kind of took a 3 month hiatus before my surgery. And then I had the surgery done. And then before I knew it, it was time to go to Toronto. And now I'm back home. And the time's just been flying by. We're already on our last 3-day weekend before it becomes fall. Labor Day weekend's like the last big summer weekend before everybody has to go back to school. And, fall is September 21st. I think the 20th or 21st, I want to say. Yep, last weekend. I'm trying to get on my phone to let's see if a couple people are texting me. All right, just texted a couple other people to see if they're going to be willing to join. I know, sorry for the complete silence for a minute or two, but just seeing if they're going to be able to come on. Thanks, Juanita. Thanks for staying on with me. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it. Juanita, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from originally, or where do you live now? Okay, really, that's nice. I'm actually, God, I don't know how to answer this, but for football, I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. So hopefully that doesn't affect anything. Uh-oh. Are you which team are you? Boo. Oh boy, we play you guys on the 4th. We're gonna be see how we'll see how interesting that game will be. Uh, I'll say best of luck to you. You know, it could go either way. We'll see how this new, because this is the first time they're actually playing the game, like Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. I don't think they were in the preseason games because based on what I've seen, or we've seen the replay videos of the clips of the games, because we couldn't get it here in Florida. Couldn't get the live games. Hey, Trojan Elk Explorer, it's good to see you. How are you? Trying to see if I'm centered in the camera, but I guess it cuts off on one side. But I guess that's trial and error for your first live stream, right? That's better. If you're talking in the background, it's my roommate. So, um, was I nervous? Trojan X Elk Explorer. Sorry, guys, can't talk. I gotta get some water here in a minute. No, I mean, at first going up in the elevator, I was, because it was a lot higher than I expected. I mean, you look at the CN Tower from the ground and you look up at it, and you don't expect it to be that high. And then you get up, you're like nearly 1,800 feet in the air, and it's got a glass floor on it, which I have to say I'm not a fan. The glass looking out from the outside, going up and going through all the cross beams as you're going up. I mean, I got video of it. I'll probably try to upload it here to YouTube and show you what it looks like. And of course, somebody, while I was in the elevator, what did scare me going up and made me nervous was the Final Destination movie, which I seen a clip of that, and it was in an observation deck not quite as high as the CN Tower, but somebody said it in the elevator, and I'm like, really? I mean, we don't need to hear that when we're going up. And then when somebody complained and said, "This is really high," and I said, "Yeah, I know. Tell me about it." But once we got up there and got sat down at the restaurant, then it was nice and relaxing. And the restaurant goes around about every 90 minutes, I want to say, roughly. If it's timed right, and we got to go around one full time, and then we started going around a second time when we left because it took us about 2 hours to get everything and eat and talk and just visit. And then you go down one level, and then you're down in the main observation deck. Then you go down one more level, and that's where the glass floor is. And there was a little kid stomping on the glass, and I said, "Please don't do that." I said it wasn't his parent, but I kind of said it like, "Don't do that," in a nice, friendly manner. So it was kind of freaky, kid stomping on the glass that high up. And I looked down, and yeah, no, not for me. I prefer to just look out and, look down from, but I don't have to look straight down. But I've been up in the CN Tower, or well, the CN Tower, of course. I've been up there, but no, I've been up in the Sears Tower. I've been up in the John Hancock Center. I've been up in the Empire State Building, top of the Rockefeller Center, Statue of Liberty. I did Statue of Liberty. I didn't get to go up in because it was closed off. Um, I think they were doing some remodeling to it on the interior. No edge walk, absolutely not. I watched a YouTube video on it last night, and I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner, but I definitely looking down, like being hanging from that cord, looking down or going backwards, looking up at the sky. I said, no, absolutely not. I would say a few other words, but no, absolutely not. I'll watch people do it, but I get vertigo if I look down. Believe it or not, I had a 13-inch MacBook Air, and I was watching Skyscraper with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. And I there was one part it showed him dangling off of the edge of the building, and he was like 100 stories up, uh, thousands of feet in the air. And I looked down. It showed a scene looking down, and I looked at it and I got vertigo and got really dizzy and freaked out. And we got an 85-inch TV here, so we watched Skyscraper on that. And you think I had vertigo from that 13-inch MacBook Air? No, I really had it when I was watching it on the 85-inch. And then flying too doesn't bother me either. But I've done the sky jump where they pull you up in they strengthen the tension on the cord, and they let you go, and you fly and you dive down. And if I can't get the camera angle right, dive down and come down. I did that when I was much younger before I got the vertigo, and it was fun. I loved it. But after getting older, I'm like, yeah, I can't do that kind of thing anymore. Getting on those rides to go upside down and do all that stuff, I said, no, not anymore. It was fun while it lasted. And get something to drink. Hold on. Don't worry, guys. It's just sparkling water. It's bubbly. Juanita knows already. Trojan Elk Explorer. This is raspberry. It's really good. I prefer the Waterloo brand though. Alpine Fury ride. Where is that exactly? Is that in Toronto? I know I hate to ask, but I could probably Google it. But Alpine Fury. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. But my face is gonna get a lot brighter. Alpine Fury. Alpine Fury. Maybe I misread that. Is that a new ride? Oh, that don't look. I think I could probably go on that. But the ones that stay upside down, or if it's really high, probably not. Yeah, Trojan Elk Explorer. I did put an Alpine Fury. I just put an Alpine Fury with how you spelled it, and then it came up with Alpine Fury. So I guess maybe there's an Alpine Fury out there. It does sound like there is. I won't correct you on that at all. So I really honestly don't know. But I guess next time I go to Toronto, I can definitely, if that's where the park is, I can definitely look that up and be interested in possibly going with somebody. And I think when I go to Toronto again next year, I'm gonna actually go there for a week, save my money, and I think I'll stay at the Weston Harbor Castle Hotel because that was a pretty nice hotel. I honestly have to say it's probably one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed at. And I've stayed at the Marriott, I've stayed at Hyatt, um, Ritz Carlton, Intercontinental. No, I stayed at the Plaza Hotel in Curacao in the Caribbean. Uh, but nothing really, really, really fancy. But someday. And then for New York, if you ever go to New York, I recommend where I stayed at for 8 days, and I got the discount there because my friend was guest relations manager. The Hotel Edison, which is on I think on 47th Street, right around the corner from Times Square. That's a really nice hotel. Vasily showed you. Trojan Elk Explorer. Yes, I have been to Quebec City, and if you didn't see my last stream, I was in the United States Navy for 11 years, and in 2012, I got to go on the Bicentennial War of 1812 cruise, and I was gone for about 2.5 months, and we Halifax, Nova Scotia. We went up through the St. Lawrence Seaway and came down. Probably did that wrong. I should have did it with this hand. um, we went and hit Quebec City, Montreal. I didn't get to spend that much time there because um, we were basically on a time schedule, and we spent some time giving tours to the Canadians, of our ship, which was pretty cool, showing them all the different stuff and explaining a little bit about what we do and what our ship's capable of doing. And then we went down further and went into the Great Lakes, and we ended up going all the way to Chicago, and then we went to Milwaukee, and then from there we went to Detroit, Toledo, Ohio, Buffalo, New York, Cleveland, if I haven't said it already, and then passed right by Toronto. I saw it we had a telescope on our bridge, and I saw the CN Tower, and I looked through the spotoscope, and of course it was Toronto, and I was like, I was so jealous. I wanted to go there so bad because we had to go through the locks of the St. Lawrence Seaway, and we couldn't stop in Toronto. Thank you, Juanita. I appreciate it. So I didn't get a lot of time for liberty, which we call like free time in the Navy. Didn't get a lot of time to do that. But at least I got to do it now, and I'm not in the Navy anymore. I've been out 11 years now. So I did 11 years and I've been out 11 years. So it makes it nice to not have to worry about being in there anymore, and I could travel at my leisure, and have to get my passport renewed in 2 years. But it's pretty easy now. I think it's pretty, if anybody knows, I think you just get your passport photos taken, go to Costco, like if you have a Costco membership, and get your pictures taken, and then you drop it in the mail with the form and your current passport, and then they just send it back to you renewed. I don't know if it's that easy. I hope it is, but what did I do in the Navy? I was a yeoman. So what that boils down to is I did administrative. So I would do people's leave, emergency data, pay, awards, instructions and notices, which are publications that we have for the ship, and um, that are guidelines that we have to follow. The plan of the day, which is a schedule of everything in the day that we do by the timeline. Legal, we do legal as well, like non-judicial punishment, article, Uniform Code of Military Justice, things of that nature. The awards we would do like if you got a Navy Achievement Medal, or got a letter of commendation, letter of appreciation. Good conduct awards were for every 3 years that you do of good conduct and you stay out of trouble, you get an award for that. Hope that answers that question. If you don't want to know anything, I can attach a link and that'll give you the full definition of it. But hopefully, I answered it the best of my ability. So it was, good and bad. Uh, well, if you don't know, yesterday was the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. And a week after it hit in 2005, we were down in the Gulf Coast. We were in, some people went to Gulfport, Mississippi, and then our ship pulled into New Orleans. We went up the Mississippi River and did hurricane relief, and we were gone about 2 months. We left in the end of August. We didn't get back till October. So it was very rewarding. We did a lot down there. We helped rescue over 300 people on our ship that we rescued from Camp Katrina that we set up. Got supplies, food and water, and our ship provided hotel services, medical, showers, hot showers, so they can get cleaned up. The people that we rescued, and got them shipped out on buses to get out of the area. Um, but we went into flooded neighborhoods to rescue people and drove around the city, and it was quite a bit. We did. But if you ever want to look up the history of the USS Tortuga, LSD 46, that was the ship I was on. It says that we did all the hurricane relief efforts down there, humanitarian assistance. And I can't believe it's been 20 years. It's just incredible. If I was still in the Navy today, I would have 22 years in. But it's definitely something I'll never forget. But if a hurricane was to hit an area and I was close to it, or if I had the opportunity to volunteer, I would definitely be there in a heartbeat to help out any way I can. Help rebuild, help clean up, help rescue people. That's something I would do. And we're here for just over 40 minutes now. Good to be here with you guys. Hopefully, I haven't bored you with my talking. But thank you, Juanita. Looks like we got 8 people on here. I wonder who else is out there. Doesn't show who, unfortunately. Guess that's just until other people want to write, or maybe they're just seeing if I'm here, what I'm doing. But it's going on 11 o'clock. So like I said, I'll probably be up for another couple hours at least. And I'll probably start working on my tracks for my upcoming mix. Why did I stop? Oh, hey, YouTube Rocks, welcome. Why did I stop doing the DJ mixes? Well, sometimes you get writer's block, or you kind of just get to a point where I take a break or 3-month break, because I had some health issues going on. Mostly that most of it now is taken care of or being taken care of. I'm very health conscious and getting things checked out. And I had my surgery done at the end of July. I had the Inspire device. I put a link in the chat if you scroll up, what I had done. And it's pretty interesting. It's supposed to help with sleep apnea. And had that done. So that's behind me. Took my trip to Toronto, and that's behind me already, unfortunately. I wish it was longer. So I'm planning on getting back into it, and also getting my lessons done on my DJ equipment that I have that's brand new, that I'm almost scared to see what that thing does, because it's just incredible with the money I spent on it. Um, Trojan Elk Explorer, upstate New York Bob has a weekly chat on Mondays. What got you into streaming? Well, believe it or not, just watching everybody on here, like Henry, Toronto Tech and Transit, watching a few people in New York City. And then I just branched out and I put in, well, what is it for Toronto? Does Toronto have the same thing? Live streamers, and Henry was one of the first ones that came up. And then, of course, there's Johnny Strides, and then there's the Ken Continuum, and there's a few other live streamers out there that I've come across. But it was just incredible. I met Johnny Strides last weekend. What was it? Friday night, I think it was for Brad and Marie Palmer's wedding anniversary. So it was really nice to meet him and be in his presence. I had no idea he had that many followers. He has 150,000 subscribers, give or take. And just to be in the presence of somebody like that is incredible. But just that inspiration just got me started. And, I got the live train videos that I did. Of course, they're recorded when I upload them. I've got probably 400 or 500 more videos to upload that I haven't put up yet. But now that I'm waking up and doing my DJ mixes as well and getting on here, I can make this a monthly thing, weekly, monthly. I'm hoping weekly, depending on my schedule, because I do have to work every other weekend at the hospital that I work at. But I bet that was cool to meet Johnny. It was. It really was. I had no idea it was him. And then it was weird because I got back to the hotel that night and something popped up on my YouTube that says, guy goes on YouTube and makes 6 figures, and he was on the news channel in Toronto, and it was Johnny Strides. And I said, wow, that's pretty cool. I had no idea. Just hearing other noises in the background, so that's why I was kind of looking funny for a second. But sorry, guys. But YouTube rocks. Yeah, I'm gonna get back into it. Maybe I can make this a Saturday night thing. The only thing is, like next Saturday, I have to work. I have to be up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. to be at work at 7 a.m. Um, I could probably get on here earlier that night and hopefully get more people because a lot of people are probably going to bed or they're out doing things because it's Saturday night. Trojan, yeah, I plan on going to Miami. I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida, which it's about an hour, I want to say an hour 15, hour and 20, hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half away from Miami. And if you take the train, if you take Brightline, it's about an hour. But you can't get there any faster than that. 10, 15 years ago, yes, you could, but not anymore. I mean, with all the traffic and all the people that are moving down here, it's incredible. Yeah, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is about an hour drive, maybe about half hour, 45 minutes. Well, about 40 minutes on the train. And, they've added stops to Brightline. I don't know if you guys follow Brightline or Tri-Rail. Tri-Rail, it takes 2 hours to get to Miami for sure because you have a lot of stops. So I'm going to start out in West Palm Beach. I figured that'd be the best place and go to downtown. Actually, I went to a mall called Wellington Mall today, and that's one of our bigger malls that we have in this area. Like if you go down south to north of Miami, there's one called Aventura Mall, and that's a big mall. That's a pretty big one, and they got a lot of high end stores there. All the brand names you could think of. And eventually, I'll get down there to live stream, do some shopping as well. So, what's West Palm Beach like? It's kind of more laid back. It's a lot because I used to live in Miami, and I lived down there for just over 2 years. I bounced all over Florida. I'll get a little backstory. So I was in the Navy. I went to Virginia. Was there for 3 years, from 2003 to 2006. Got to Florida in 2006, that same year, and moved to Tampa. I was there for 5 years. Finished my time with the Navy. Then I ended up going to Jacksonville. Was there for 3 years, and then after I got out, I was really focused on my DJ career, and I thought it was going to take off more than it did, but it didn't. Because it's a lot harder than you can imagine to get your name out there and produce the music and get recording labels, all that stuff. But I was in Miami for the 2.5 years, going on 2.5 years, and then moved up here to West Palm Beach. I'm originally from Montana, if you don't know. That's where I got my name, Bighorn MT. But to answer your question, West Palm Beach was where I wanted to live, and it's kind of been like the center point for the 19 years I've been in Florida. And it's a lot more laid back than Miami. And as I said before, and it's just you get the beaches, you get the nightlife. It's where actually there's a lot of rich people that live here, and this is where Donald Trump. I won't get into politics on here, but I promise. But he lives down here as well, and you see the Air Force One or see the Trump jet out there at the airport sometimes. But it's definitely more laid back here. I hope that answered your question. If you have any other questions, just let me know, and I'll do the best to answer them. Hey, Mark Davis, welcome. Nice to see you again as well. And Niagara Falls, that's nice. And next year, Mark, I hope I can go to Niagara Falls. I've seen the U.S. side where the Cave of the Winds is at. It went from Buffalo to the U.S. side, so I definitely hope to get to see the Canadian side, and maybe go up to the falls directly too, again, and get more souvenirs as well. So, just reading through all your comments, guys, to make sure I answered everybody. Why did I stop YouTube rocks? Why did I stop the Navy? Um, well, I had some stuff going on. I had 2 foot surgeries done. One of them I had an infection on the bottom of my right heel, on the bottom of my right heel, and I had one on my fourth toe. I literally had like another toe growing out of my toe, which was an infection from before. And they wouldn't get it taken care of. And I finally had to get like surgery while I was on crutches for 6 weeks. And had just was non-weight bearing. I gained a lot of weight, and to get yourself ready for the physical readiness test, you have to be certain weight standards. And if you're not within those standards, they measure your waist and your neck. So I gained about 40 pounds. And I said that there's no way I'm going to lose that much weight by the time the fitness test comes by. I could have got one medical waiver, but to lose that much weight, you get older, it gets harder to lose the weight. So I had that going on, and I had a couple mental health issues. Unfortunately, mental health, they look really negatively in the military towards that. If you have any, I think now it's better, but had to get that fixed. And it takes a toll on you, especially when you had traumatic things happen like Hurricane Katrina, which I went through. Um, and my sleep apnea, I couldn't sleep very well, and I had the CPAP machine before the surgery that I had in July. So, hope that answers your question. Uh, Harjot, you ran into that Tara, huh? Oh, that's cool. Nathan Phillips Square. Well, I'll have to check that place out next time. Is that where she ended her stream, or she was actually right by the CN Tower? She was right by the water. Harjot, I'm sorry I missed you on that. I'll probably have to go back and replay it. I'll watch Tara's video tomorrow when I have more time. I was busy today, guys. I was at the mall and shopping. I went to Macy's and bought a few shirts, and then I excuse me, went and had dinner there. I didn't eat anything all day. I pretty much had coffee this morning and had a couple moon pies. If you don't know what those are, they're like little Debbie snacks. Had those, and then normally I'm a cereal type of guy, and then I had a Red Bull because the coffee kind of wore off. And then I was in the Apple store trying to get that figured out with my phone because I have this thing where it doesn't, the phone doesn't stay off when I want it off. Like if you put it on do not disturb or reduce interruptions, it rings. Like it rings for notifications or people calling or texting. When I want the phone off, you want the phone off. And it wasn't doing that. So they just played around with it and got it fixed. And I still got to call my carrier and find out about the data, the hotspot, and see if I can get that figured out so I can do the live streams and not have to worry about running out. So, and went to Target. That's like our Walmart that we have for you guys in Canada. Um, on a different scale. And went to the grocery store and pretty much running around everywhere, and then I had to go to my leasing office to pick up something out of my locker. I just bought a new air purifier for my living room, and then I had to go check my mail. So I didn't get home till about 7:30. Nice, Mark. Yeah, I know you mentioned about that. I know we had a lot going on in Toronto that day, so it'll be cool to come up there again and hopefully get to the Niagara Falls. And if I take the train up there or however the quickest route is to get there, go up there for the day and come back to Toronto, or go up and spend the night and get a room where the observation deck would be kind of cool. Trojan, have I tried the monster drink? Unfortunately, well, there's other monsters out there I kind of like. They have the vanilla bean one. I think it's vanilla mean bean or something. That one's not too bad, but the regular one, the green one, I can't. Yeah, it's not for me. just don't like the flavor of it, unfortunately. YouTube rocks. Do I miss the Navy? I do quite a bit sometimes. I miss being able to travel the world. And first, when I joined in 2003, we did travel a lot more, and the deployments were pretty reasonably long. They were, some of them were 2 months, some of them were 6 months, and now they're 7 to 8 months, and some of them are almost a year. It's a lot more strict. Um, since I don't know what's going on with the war in the Middle East, but it's hard to say, if they're going to make that longer, make those deployments longer. But yeah, the ports we pulled into are pretty awesome. You don't get as much free time as we used to. Because there's other people that ruin it for everybody else, and it's like dealing with like little kids. Unfortunately, but I do miss it. I do miss the sunrises, sunsets, and kept me busy, kept me active. Hey, Boom Productions, how you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. Boom in the house. Mark Davis, you said you take the GO train now to Niagara from Toronto. That'd probably be the way I'll go. I like the train. No stress, no driving or anything like that. Yeah, I have to look up what happened with the Blue Jays. Just I don't get the channels, and it's really hard to um get them on the TV here in Florida, South Florida, because they're going to put the Marlins on before they do well, I don't even think the Marlins are in the playoffs. But I'm definitely a Blue Jays fan. I got my football team, Philadelphia Eagles. My hockey team is the Florida Panthers, and then my basketball team is Miami Heat. So, but I'm a Blue Jay fan all the way, definitely. Got to watch more games. I've been to a Tampa Bay Rays game. That was in 2008, I believe, when they made it to the finals, but I don't think they made it to the World Series. Oh yeah, YouTube rocks. Of course, Liam, I talked to him. I talked to Vasily, upstate New York Bob. Uh, just everybody that keeps in touch. I got their phone numbers, and believe it or not, my plan includes Canada and Mexico, so I can text them and call them, and don't have to worry about getting charged overages, which is cool. It's just like having a American number, with the 10-digit number. So that's pretty cool. Oh, almost an hour, guys. I'm about 30 seconds now from passing my first initial live stream. Oh, my Navy friends. Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, I do talk to a few of them. I keep in touch with them, and they're spread out. There was one in Homestead, but fortunately, there's some of them that you talk to over the years, and then all of a sudden, one day they're there, and the next day they're gone, and you don't know where they went. Like they deleted their phone number, or they disappeared off Facebook or Instagram, and you don't know how to reach them. And you reach out to other people that hear, like if you've heard from them, or oh, have you heard from so and so? And they haven't, and you just wonder what happened to them. But the ones I do keep in contact with, yes, I definitely still talk to them. Boom. Well, the Eagles play Tampa Bay on the 28th of September. I'm trying to go to that game. I'm trying to see if one of my other nurse buddies that I work with at the VA hospital, that's where I work at, and trying to see if this nurse guy that he's an Eagles fan, of course, is willing to go, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, YouTube rocks. It does. It's unfortunate, but you do your best you can to keep in contact with somebody. And then I just like, and since COVID too, COVID was a big one that a lot of people disappeared and never resurfaced, unfortunately. I don't like to use that word, but I don't know what happened to them. But boom, I really hope I can go to that game. I want to see what the Eagles fans are like. I hear they're pretty rowdy, but they're pretty cool as well. So in Tampa Bay, I know if I'm there wearing an Eagles jersey, I'm not gonna hear the end of that either. So Juanita, yeah, that I agree with that one. Oh, we're an hour and 2 minutes into this, so this is just pretty awesome to be here with you guys. Thanks for being on here. And for you guys that just joined, you guys see these blue lights going the other way. Hold on, I gotta do it with the other hand. Going that way. They're laser lights, and then it projects on my ceiling and also part of my walls is what you see behind me. And then you can pick the colors like mine. I got like this purple blue kind of light, which is if you see the light that I'm in, you can have red, blue, pink, orange, purple. Um, did I say green? You can have different colors, whatever you want to pick. I mean, and mix the colors if you want. And then you can have different party modes, where lights change colors and you can have it for a party. There's also another projector I have that goes with the music. So if you play music, the lights like flash to it. It's pretty cool. Nothing too expensive or major, but it's something. You really have to start investing your money if you want to buy the real cool stuff. But I'm working on it. I'm starting out small and it's slowly expanding. Well, thanks, YouTube Rocks. I appreciate your support. It's definitely and people wonder how do you sit down for 2 hours and do the mixes. Well, while one track is playing, I just wait. If I have to use the restroom or something, the washroom, I go in between the tracks. It might be a 5 or 6 minute track, and hurry up and get back to what I'm doing and get the headphones back on. And I have to do it with headphones. uh these are my DJ headphones. They're pretty beat up. They're Sennheiser. I don't know if anybody can see the name on there. You can't really. You can kind of see it right here, but it's kind of wore off. But these headphones are 13 years old. They're definitely beat up, but they still work just like the day I got them. And they were about $300. So I'm kind of like wanting to hold on to them until they completely break, and then I'll be forced to buy a new pair. Oh yeah, boom! I did hear about that. What was the trade number 11 from Dallas that went to? I know his name, but I won't say it. Sorry, Juanita. Trojan Elk Explorer says, "Are you planning to do any DJ mixes?" Yeah, I plan on it. I'm gonna come out with mix 12 and 13. I'm gonna kind of try to do those back to back. I'm pretty sure the mix 12 is going to be deep house, so it might be a little bit slower tempo because I got a few tracks lined up for that. And then mix 13, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I mean, a lot of people, one person said dubstep, but I'm like, well, I do have a song that I could probably use in that, but the problem is the beats per minute are too fast for dubstep, and some of the dubstep songs are slower. Mark says, Sean, are you planning on any future trips to Toronto before the end of the year? I wish I could say that. I wish I could say yes, but no. I not before the end of the year because I kind of have to save up my time for Arizona because that's where my folks are, my parents, and then my sister, brother-in-law, and nephew live there as well. So I'm gonna be gone for 2 weeks. I was trying to get Christmas, but unfortunately, I can't get the time off for Christmas, so I'm gonna have to take New Year's. And as long as I have the one of the 2 weeks that my nephew has off for Christmas break, Christmas and New Year's, to see him, I'll be happy. Then I can spend time with him and give him his gift. So I got him a. I can't say it on here because I don't want him. My nephew's smart enough; he might try logging into my channel and watching it, and then it's going to ruin his gift. So, um, if he is watching, he's got a pretty good gift coming his way that I paid good money for. So, I wish Mark. I'm telling you, it's only a little over 3 hour flight total flying time. It's about an hour and a half flight from here to Atlanta, and I flew Delta Airlines, and then from Atlanta to Toronto, it's like another hour, hour and a half, an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. By the time we get going, the pilots like with Delta Airlines like to land early, and sometimes we get there early enough to get to the gate, but sometimes we have to wait on the plane to get out of the gate because we got there early. But I do plan on going up to Montana eventually. I'll give you the story on my name. Bighorn, Montana is actually a town up in Montana. There is Bighorn. And so I kind of get my name from that, as well as the Bighorn River and the Bighorn Lake, which the Bighorn River becomes, or the lake becomes a river because there's a dam and it's called Yellowtail Dam, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty big dam. It's like 560 feet tall. And I don't know what that I got to do more of the conversion, what that translate to in meters. But I'll be better about that in the future. And also, my name is from because I'm an Aries. My birthday's in April. Like a couple other people that we know from Toronto, and Aries has the big horns. The ram. So I'm known as a ram for my zodiac, the big horn with the big horns. So naturally, my zodiac sign and the place I'm from in Montana kind of can make me come up with the name Bighorn, Montana, or Bighorn MT. Industrial is the way to go, Boom says. Frontline. Yeah, send me a link to that. I'd be interested in listening to that. Trying something new. I I definitely am interested. I'm open. I'm very open minded about doing something new like that. Yeah, Mark. Hopefully, I explained it right. If that makes sense. With the zodiac sign in the town of Montana, but I'm originally from Sydney, Montana, which is up in the northeast corner. And if you know Regina, Canada, it's like I want to say it's like 150 to 200 miles away from there. But lived in Billings, which is the largest city for a brief time, and then we moved to Bozeman, outside of Bozeman, to a town called Belgrade, which just happens to be the capital of Yugoslavia, and lived up there for um, 1991 to 2003 before I joined the Navy. So 12 years. Trojan Elk Explorer. My birthday April 14th. Yeah, my nephew's birthday, he's in September, so he shares the birthday pretty closely with my sister and my brother-in-law. So they wanted another Libra. So they're Libras. April 2nd, I know a lot of people on April 2nd. My aunt was April 2nd. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, and she's dearly missed. And she was one of the only ones I would talk to, when times got rough, or had nobody else to talk to, because there's moments where we all experience that, we're only human. And, it's good to always have those people to talk to. But I know she's up in heaven with my grandpa, and, she's guiding each one of us in, our direction that we go, and making sure we make the right decisions. So if you guys don't know, I'm drinking my raspberry bubbly. I've been drinking it really slowly. I normally would drink it faster. For you guys that didn't see yet, for the ones that did already see it, here it is again. So what else is going on in the world that may not be aware of? You guys know what's going on out there? Raspberry. Um, yeah, boom. Grapefruit. Yeah, at least I can have grapefruit. I do have a cholesterol medicine. I take the Crestor or Rosuvastatin, and the good news is I can still have grapefruit, so it doesn't affect it at all. Trojan Elk Explorer says you got to have your edibles to be like Mr. Stumbles. Well, I've never tried edibles, so I don't know. I wish I knew what that meant, but you'll have to explain that a little bit more, Trojan. I have to stay away from that kind of stuff because I still owned by the federal government, so I have to be careful. Johnny Stumbles, Johnny Strides, his weekly show is called Johnny Stumbles. What's that, Trojan? Oh yeah, Mark. Yeah, I know people take them for medicinal reasons. I have an uncle that does. He's a amputee, and he does take it. And it helps him. So I understand that, and I'm cool with it. So boom, I did try CBD oil. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to put it on your skin. I don't know how it works really. My mom gave me some of that. Um, the sublingual under your tongue. I did try it. Um, and I don't know. I don't think it made any difference in my labs that I got done. With your blood. Oh, Trojan, do you have a link for that? That'd be cool to check out. Guys, I'm probably going to stand here another 15 minutes because I still got to clean up and everything. Um, and then maybe I'll get back on here a little bit later. We'll see. We'll see how long we can keep this going. Didn't think I was ever going to come on here tonight, but I said, you know what? I didn't do my live stream today. So I said, you know what? Why not come on here tonight and talk to you guys? Let me see if I got anybody logging in. Um, Mark, it depends on my work schedule. Um, as I said earlier, I think it was before you got on here. I work every other weekend at the hospital, so I work Saturday and Sunday. Well, I do. My schedule recently changed, and I'm trying to fight it to get my days off. I might do the live stream on a Friday night. I might do it on a Saturday. I think Friday and Saturday are my best bet. Not during the week, and then maybe once in a while on a Sunday. But try to catch everybody on here at a decent time. Not sure what the best time to come on is, but I know Saturday night everybody's out, doing things, and I'm not sure how late, depending on if you're one of those late night type of people that go out, you know, to the clubs or bars or whatever. But hopefully I can get on here at least once a week. Boom, yeah, I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, boom, you did see I think you were in my live stream when I went live from Toronto by the water, by the Weston Hotel. Oh, Mark, I appreciate it. Yeah, Trojan, I if do you have a link for that by chance, or is that when he goes live? I don't know. I've only seen a couple of Johnny Strides videos. I know that sounds bad, but I'm checking out everybody as well. So try to stick with the people I know. Even though I met Johnny, um, he's pretty popular, and stick with Henry. But you have to send a link for it if you have it, please. Huh? That's weird. Well, what's his YouTube name? It's Johnny Strides is his regular channel, but does he have one called Johnny Stumbles? Oh, thanks, Juanita. I saw it up there, pulled up. So I got it open, and I'll check it out later after I get logged off. I'll watch it. Yeah, it's good to come on. I have my other buddy Dan, Dan Bell. This is Dan Bell. I'll try to post a link to his channel, but he does some pretty funny stuff, and I'll post a link, and you'll just have to check it out. He's live right now, and he goes live from Baltimore, Baltimore, Maryland. I almost said Canada. If you got that. You'll just have to check out his content. He's got a pretty cool setup, and he does random stuff. Yeah, guys, I'm still slowly trying to figure out the mod thing. Yeah, definitely as I do more live streaming, I'll definitely get some of you added for mods, and then I got to get the Nightbot figured out as well so I can have that post. Not sure. I got to figure it out myself. I'm here by myself. I got to figure it out, and I will. So, but another thing about Dan Bell, he does his live streams every Saturday night, and he starts at 9 p.m. and he goes on till 2 or 3 in the morning, which just drives around Baltimore and goes to different neighborhoods, good and bad, and talks about everything in the history and does some goofy stuff. I mean, he has probably like at a time when he goes live, he has probably over 1,000 people on at a time. So it's pretty cool to check out, and it's funny. If you want a good laugh, definitely check out his page. Boom, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll do a few more of these, and as the time progresses, like I said, I'll see who's on here and get them added, get everybody added as a mod. Um, that's on here talking to me and everything. And as I develop more of a trust with you guys, not saying I don't trust you, of course not. I'm saying, as I get on here more and get used to everybody being here, I can definitely add mods. So I guess I'm kind of shy right now, but that'll go away. I don't have the stage fright like I used to, at least, though. If you guys didn't see the shirt, this is it right here, the CN Tower. Let me get It's the wrinkle in it. So that's what I got in. I got that in the CN Tower when I was there last weekend. So for those of you that didn't see it yet, no, Mark, I bought it at the CN Tower. I bought that. I bought a magnet, pen, keychain for a friend of mine. Bought a little figurine that's probably like this, probably about that tall. I'll have to see if I can grab it and show you guys what it is. It's probably about, I want to say it's probably about 4 or 5 inches tall, and it's just a model of the CN Tower. So what else is going on tonight, guys? You got any plans for tomorrow? That's nice, Juanita. That sounds nice. I didn't. I like to watch college football too, but I didn't get a chance today because I was running around like crazy with getting everything done. Yeah, I do watch college football, Trojan. And I like watching it. I don't have a team yet for sure. I like kind of like Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Did I say it right? Hopefully. Um, it's a random team, and I do like the Florida teams as well. Like I actually have to say the Gators. Don't hate me on that because I know a lot of this part of Florida we're divided. Trojan, yeah. Like I said, I don't really have a team. I'd have to definitely say probably I'm gonna be comfortable and say the Gators. They're in Florida, but just because I know they're pretty patriotic when it comes to representing their team. But the good news is, I'm not from here originally. Being from Montana, it's kind of a wild card. I do like the Bobcats too, the Cats, but they're a different division. But they did really well last year. So Mark and Trojan, boom, you guys got plans for if I'm missing anybody, I apologize, but what's your plans for tomorrow? I hear you on that, Trojan. I'm gonna do the same thing. I know Liam's going on tomorrow for sure. And maybe Vasily, I might see him. Uh not sure when Henry Toronto Tech and Transit's gonna be on again. Been watching everybody. I got everybody that I follow um on YouTube, and I'm subscribed to all their notifications. So sorry guys, I'm cramping up here. Um, I'm subscribed to all their notifications, and I see um, when they're going to be online. Yeah, Mark, that's nice. And Niagara Falls. Juanita says Basili will be live. Okay, cool. Can't wait to talk to him and stuff. So yeah, Trojan. It's hard to say what Henry's going to end up doing. Because while I was up there, he was saying that he might move to downtown. Not sure what his plan is yet. If his work will allow him to go to Vancouver. Either way, if he goes to Vancouver, he'll be missed a lot. And maybe some year he can put together a get together and we can all go to Vancouver and visit him. But in the meantime, if he stays in Toronto, then definitely we'll make this an annual thing. And hopefully I get to meet more of you. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, Mark Davis, we'll see. We will see what happens. Because Vancouver's way out there, way up there in north of Seattle. And being on the West Coast is a whole different lifestyle, because I was, Southwest Montana, where grew up at mainly, it's kind of West Coast vibes. Um, it's about 600 miles from Seattle. So that's probably other than Salt Lake City, that's the next major city that is closest to. So unfortunately, I didn't get enough time to spend on the West Coast. I've been to San Diego and I flew out of Seattle to go to boot camp in Chicago. They flew me from Montana to Seattle to catch a flight and flew American Airlines from Seattle to Chicago. But other than that, that's the only time I spent, and then the time I spent in San Diego. Trojan, no. Believe it or not, my friend actually just came back from there. She went there for a wedding, and San Francisco seems like a cool place to check out. That's on my bucket list. It's not on the top of my bucket list, but it's in there. To check out San Francisco. So tell me, guys, if you don't mind, what's on your bucket list for places to go? Mark says London, England, and Liverpool. Yeah, I've been to England. I went to it's a smaller city. It was either Plymouth or Portsmouth, England, that we got to pull into. I wish we pulled into London. That would have been cool. But that was when we went on our Baltic Sea cruise up to it's called Baltops. Baltic Sea. Like we went to Latvia, Ventspils, Latvia. Uh, went to Rome, Denmark. Uh, did some exercise off the coast of Poland. Um, let's see where else. Germany, definitely Kiel, Germany. Took a bus ride to Berlin. Yeah, we're trying to think where else. I think that was it. But yeah, I definitely got to take another trip to Europe. Trojan says Sydney, Australia. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be a cool place to check out. It's on my bucket list as well. Mark Davis says my favorite band is from Liverpool. Who's that? If you don't mind me asking. Oh yeah, can't go wrong there, Mark. Well, guys, I surpassed the hour and 35-minute mark. I could try to go for 2 hours, and I think I probably shut it down tonight. But definitely trying to maybe see what happens tomorrow. Maybe I'll do another live stream. That'd be cool. Oh, thanks, Juanita. I appreciate it. I really appreciate that, everybody. Appreciate you being on here with me again. This is pretty cool. So get to chat with all of you. Don't feel so lonesome anymore. No, I have a roommate that he's in the other room, so makes it nice. Oh, thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm glad to be on here. Don't worry, guys. I won't take it down either. I know some people get on here and then, oh, did you have a live video up? Yeah, you did a live video last night. What happened to it? Oh, I took it down. No, I did do a video. I started earlier, but I couldn't figure out how to get the chats on there. It was one check mark that I had to click on and get it figured out. So I deleted that one, but it was only like 2 minutes long. So, but this one I'm definitely going to keep on there. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe if you don't mind, and then I'll try the best I can to follow you as well, and I'll be sure to look you up. If you want to drop your link if you're able to drop a link in the profile or in my profile on my chat. I don't know if that's a mod thing that they can only do, but thanks, Juanita. Um, put a boobs channel. Trojan, no. Unfortunately, housing market's not very good down here right now. I live in an apartment, so I got a 2 bedroom, 2 bath apartment, almost 1,700 square feet, and we got a loft upstairs. That's where my DJ equipment is at. So not yet. Eventually, someday, when I start making some more money, like some people out there, doing this type of thing, hopefully it helps. Every bit helps. You know, go Leafs, go. Yeah, definitely. Let me just check in something real quick, guys. Hey, Jazz0505, welcome to the chat. Thank you for coming on. Guys, if you haven't already, I posted a link to um, my channel. That way you can see my train videos, my live DJ streams that I've done. Well, not live streams, but pre-recorded DJ mixes that are 2 hours long, and then I have some of them that are about an hour long. And to my first ever live stream I did in Toronto last weekend. Hopefully you guys can check that out, and hopefully you'll like it. Let me know what you think. I definitely I appreciate everyone's support, like I said. But I'm there definitely open minded and influential on everybody's opinion. YouTube rocks. Yeah, I'm reading your comments here. Yeah, I know it's unfortunate. How's the weather this weekend? Trojan says. Right now it's 79 degrees in West Palm Beach. So that's degrees Fahrenheit. So hasn't cooled down much. We're getting into fall weather. Hopefully the days get cooler. Oh, thank you, YouTube Rocks. I appreciate it. And if you guys don't know how to spell my name, um, I got a weird spelling. I got because SEAN is like technically the Irish spelling of Sean, and then SHAWN is like the American spelling. I hope I'm correct on that one. And then the English spelling SHAUN is the spelling of my name. Um, for those that don't know, so I don't know what made my parents name me SHAUN or how they got that, because as far as I know, I got Irish in me. It should have been SEAN, but I don't have enough English in me, from England or United Kingdom to be SHAUN, but that's what my parents chose. So to be different. So, and look up the meaning of your name too if you get a chance. It'd be interesting to know what it is, but it's pretty cool. Trojan, that's Fahrenheit, right? Pretty much. I think that's Fahrenheit. Um, got a little cold up there a little bit because I know it was like north. Bear with me, guys. I'm looking at it on my phone. I got to look at it. Yeah, believe it or not, in North Bay, Canada, it was pretty cold the other day when Bob was doing a stream, or not Bob, but Brad. Sorry, guys, I'm getting tired. um, Brad did a stream up there, and it was cold. Oh, YouTube rocks. Don't feel bad about that. That's okay. A lot of people didn't know how to spell it. It's perfectly fine. Jess, it's great to see you again in here. Thank you and welcome in. Just trying to keep up with your comments here, everybody. Oh, Trojan. Yeah, I got that now. All right, guys, I'm gonna stay on about another 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna call it the night because it's believe it or not, it's past midnight, so it's about bedtime. So, did everybody have a good week this week, or did you do anything fun besides work? It's only midnight. Trojan says, "Yeah, I know. It's only 2 in the morning. Be on a couple more hours. I wish. Maybe one night I will, but definitely not tonight. I'm definitely not. Another 14 minutes or so. I'm gonna be signing off here. So, because I gotta get some sleep because I did go to bed about 2 this morning. So I woke up about 10 something this morning because I was off work. Juanita said just work. Yeah, I had training this week I got back Monday from Toronto. I went back to work Wednesday, and the day I come back, I got 7 hours of training to do of the 8 hour shift I have. And I must say it was pretty boring doing all that training, stuff that we already know, just reiterating stuff that we already know. And it was grueling. I'd rather be working in the unit that I work on at the hospital. I work the position I have. I work in the medical field. I'm a medical support assistant, and I work in the ICU, the intensive care unit. YouTube, did they check my cell phone? Um, no. You talk about customs or immigration? No, they didn't. Mark says my work consumes me during the week. Yeah, it does. And you're ready to get home, and you just want to rest or clean up and shower, and then just do nothing the rest of the night. Mark Davis, that's nice. Nice to hear. That's cool. I was thinking about it, if I didn't decide to stay in Florida, where I would end up going. But you know what? I think in reality, I think I would probably like to spend some of my time in Canada and then spend my other time here in Florida. Like spend the winters down here, maybe spend a winter up there in Canada to see how it's like and if I can brave it. Because I got a car that, SUV, sport utility vehicle that's got 4-wheel drive and then I'd probably spend the winters here in Florida. So the summers in Toronto, probably, and the winters here in Florida. I wish I could break it up that way, but I have a federal job, and I'm getting money for my retirement. So maybe that'd be something. In another 20 years, I could retire, and then I could definitely split my time up between Canada and Florida. Have that money to do it. Trojan says, Mark, do you have a view of the falls from your work or home? Yeah, Mark, do you have a view? That would be cool if you did. That'd be awesome. And that'd be quite a sight to be have for work every day or your house. Concord, Ontario. How far is that from Toronto? Mark lives in Richmond Hill. Nice. Uh, still getting used to the neighborhoods and seeing where things are made. And I don't know if anybody, and I've been trying to figure it out. If anybody heard of Clearly Canadian, the it's like a sparkling water that comes in a bottle like this. And the bottle's like a teardrop shape. Um, they sell it here in the States, but I didn't see it up in Canada when I was up there. Maybe I wasn't there long enough to look, but it's really good. I grew up on that stuff, that Clearly Canadian. We drank all the different flavors like raspberry, strawberry, peach, blackberry. Trying to think of the other flavors that are out there. Yeah, it's nice to have a second home, and I'm hoping that's been my dream for a long time, to have two homes. I want to have one home that I can buy here in Florida. And then once I do that, then I can start looking and finding a second home, maybe in Canada. Like I said, I wouldn't mind it. I think having one place, I'd like to have dual citizenship or dual residency, whatever the name of it is. Like, I can't think of the exact name. Dual citizenship, I believe. But yeah, for those that I did meet in Toronto, I mean, it was definitely a pleasure to meet you guys, and just wish I had a longer time to hang out with everybody. A lot of family history, Mark says, in Niagara Falls. That's cool. So, what else is going on in the world today? Or I haven't been paying any attention. I don't. I have a TV, but we don't have cable, so it's kind of hard to keep up on the news in the world. What's going on? Juanita, I hear you on that one. It is too expensive. I I have, and we don't have a choice, unfortunately, in Florida. We have Xfinity, which is Comcast, and I gotta say they're awful. They're really bad. I mean, their internet cuts out for no reason. You'll be in the middle of doing something and it cuts out, and there's no explanation as to why. It just happens. And their cable's like $200 a month. And I said, oh no, that's just too much money. And you throw it away. And then if you don't watch cable, it just goes to waste. Juanita, who's your carrier in Texas? Boom, yeah. That's nice. Um, Liam, Liam, and Tara, and I think Vasily, they were all at Trojan. Or what am I saying? They were all at Union Station earlier today. When Tara ended her stream, just right outside of it. Yeah, Spectrum, I haven't heard any negative things about them. I know Cox Cable is really good. My parents have them in Arizona, and so does my sister. And they're up in Virginia too. And I know that my friends in Virginia were pretty happy with them as well. I lived in Tampa for 5 years. I had what was called Bright House. And Bright House was pretty good, and then if I was overseas, deployed, they were really good about shutting my cable off for the time I was gone and then starting it up when I get back. But Comcast is another thing. I mean, they did it for me one time, but it was just hell trying to get that set up again. Well, at least I'm getting my camera broken on my MacBook Pro. Never used it. Um, Maybe used it one time for an hour, but with a friend. But this is definitely breaking it in, and I'm happy to. Boom says I actually walked with Matt Bros from the lovely USA today. He live streamed from my beaches in Toronto. Nice. That's cool. Because Boom, you live by the beaches, right? All right, guys, I got another 2 minutes in here, and I'm gonna start wrapping it up. So hate to go, but I gotta get some sleep. I still got to shower and clean up and brush my teeth and do all that good stuff. And the pickle barrel, we had a pickle barrel in Montana. It was a place you get subs. I don't know if the pickle barrel in Toronto is like the same thing, but I definitely want to try it. And I've got this fascination with pickles, believe it or not. Anything pickle flavored, I love. And I don't know what it is. It's just a northern thing or what it is. And I heard AMW has like a pickle burger. I don't know if it was Burger King. I think it was A&W, but I haven't had A&W since Montana, and they did have one in Florida briefly, and then they closed them down. But I definitely want to try them out. Boom! I do remember you saying that. Yeah, I just had to confirm that. Yeah, that's cool. And riding bike out there, I I'm jealous. I have a bike. My bike is sitting in the back of my SUV with the seats down, and we got a park that we can ride bike at. And I haven't taken my bike out since I had surgery. I haven't done any major workouts since surgery because I had to get clearance from my doctor to lift things. So I'm waiting till that's done in 3 weeks, and then I can start lifting again and working out. You know, Walking definitely doesn't affect it. I did walk 33,000 steps on Saturday with Henry, Toronto Tech and Transit, and all of us. Boom was there, Mark Davis. Hopefully, I'm not missing anybody else. Um, but we were all there, and I got blisters on my feet, believe it or not. But they're all pretty much healed up now. I went out and bought some foot stuff today to help exfoliate, and got some Epsom salt for your feet, and hopefully that all helps, and I can put that on and you know feel rested. But I'm glad the blisters are healing because those things can be nasty. Yeah, Boom. I know. I'm gonna get back on that bike. I promise. Thank you, Boom. I appreciate it. I'm a little heavy, I was on Wegovy and I lost. I was 250 and I lost 53 pounds and I was down to 197. And then I went off the Wegovy and it's kind of like Ozempic, but Ozempic is for diabetics. Wegovy is for non-diabetics. And I was on it and I went off of it in April and I gained like 30 pounds back. So I'm about 232, give or take. And now I'm on Zepbound, which is a new one, which is like Monjaro, and it's just a different formulary brand of it. So hopefully this stuff will work the same way, and I can lose the weight again and stay on it. And I could taper down the dose if I get too high of a dose. Juanita, yes, Epsom salt is great. If you can get the ones that are infused with lavender or peppermint or any of those ones that are infused, that stuff helps a lot too. The smell, so you can inhale it in your nose. Um, I know, Mark. I'm telling you, like I was talking to you, and the whole time I was screaming inside myself, like just screaming at the top of my lungs inside. My feet, my feet, my feet. But I kept walking. I know I wasn't going to wimp out, but even though I did have to take a taxi from the well, a few blocks from the well to the hotel because my leg was cramping up and the blisters were inflamed, and I had to come back to the room and change clothes and socks and um, put peppermint oil on my feet. That actually helped it, and take aspirin. I took Tylenol, and that pretty much helped a lot. Boom, definitely. I'm a lovely soul. Well, thank you. Um, hey, Kurt, welcome in. Thank you for joining. See, now I got a little bit reason to stay on longer with you guys, but I may have to step off camera to get another drink. Want more water. Um, because I was running around today and I didn't drink enough of it. Uh, just reading all your comments. Did I miss anybody? I'm trying to get everybody that's on here. How was your week, Kurt? Did you do anything special, or you doing anything fun this weekend? Yeah, Kurt, this is my first time doing this, and I've been on over 2 hours. So I'm pretty impressed, like how long I've done this. And I wasn't camera shy, and I just turned the camera on, and I did for 2 minutes at first. Then I had to go back off because I couldn't see anybody's comments, and I just deleted the video and then I started over, and then I just had to check one block, and it worked. Yeah, Kurt. Yeah, we were. I was pretty impressed with the steps I got. I'm 33,378 steps, exactly what I had on my watch. I think my watch gave out on me on Sunday because the watch died. I swear I charged it, but I think the watch was just tired like I was. But I kept going, and I don't have any idea how many steps I got on Sunday, but I know Friday and Saturday were the big days, and Sunday too. They, you know, because Friday was at the Fan Expo. Kurt, I love it. I I was thinking about my roommate because I think he's in bed already. That I'm trying to talk a little bit quieter, so I can respect him as much as he respects me. And I love it. Got to say, it's nice to come on here and talk. You know, and get used to talking in front of a lot of people. It's at first I was a little nervous, but it feels natural, and then I can't wait to do the live streams with my DJ stuff. That would be cool. That'll be really cool. So, but I do enjoy it. Yeah, boom. My very, very first live stream I did was up in the CN Tower and it lasted like just over under 3 minutes. And it was really like, if you watch it, it's really choppy, because I didn't have good reception up there. And then when I was doing the live stream and along the water and by the hotel, the Westin Harbor Castle Hotel, um, I had to have Liam help me get hotspot, because my data was running out. Because I was, I think, 5 gigabytes, and I was running out. I hit my max, and it capped it. It was supposed to be unlimited, but it's unlimited for a certain amount. Just reading your comments. Yeah, boom. Yeah, I was pretty nervous at first. Kurt says I'd have been tired after that first step. Well, um, about a month ago, I had an epidural done on my back. So, I had all kinds of stuff done. I had epidural, I had the surgery, I had from the bone marrow biopsy on Thursday. Um, they were checking my hemoglobin, my blood levels to make sure everything's okay. What my alternative for treatment is. But I've been going strong, just living life every day and taking it one day at a time. So, yeah, I try to be a natural Trojan, Uh, it wasn't always this way. I was a shy person, I was very shy growing up. So I try to get on here and please everybody, I guess, or um, you know, I don't want to say call I'm not a people pleaser, that's for sure, but try to get on here and answer everybody's questions and address everything. But thank you guys again for joining. I know I'm looking at myself in the camera and I'm looking tired. I could see my eyes kind of like not blinking the same time as the other one. So Mark says maybe one day I can have a call in the show from the viewers. Yeah, I have to figure out how to set that up. You know, talk to my other fellow people out there and figure out how that works. And get with my friends here, and they might know how to set that up. That'd be cool. Boom says my roommate is Muzzy and she wants to follow you. Trojan says Kurt is singing the opening to the theme song. Kurt says, "Hey Muzzy, meow meow. Is that your cat?" I'll have to figure that one out, Kurt. Or not for me to figure out. I guess whoever does that prank someone stuff. That'd be cool to see. I'd like to be the fly on the wall to see that. Thank you, Juanita. You guys don't feel bad if I haven't added you as a mod yet. I'm still getting used to everybody being on here, and I just gotta go through the list and just get more used to this, and then I'll start adding more people. I promise. Just going through the chat real quick. Boom, your cat has a channel. Is that true? That's cool. If it you have to put the link up or boom, that should help you. Oh, you're welcome, Trojan. I'm getting used to this. Boom, you have a pretty cool looking cat. That's Muzzy, huh? That's cool. I've minimized it so I can watch it, see the links for it. I subscribed to it already. But unfortunately for me, I don't have any pets. We thought about getting a bird because I'm a bird person. My favorite bird is, of course, the bald eagle. That's our nation's bird. And it's always been, that's the Philadelphia Eagles, believe it or not. And then the blue jay, the bird, and the blue jay, the Toronto Blue Jays are my team. So kind of a lot of things work hand in hand, and how I have an interest in things, and they end up being my favorite teams. So that's cool. It's cool they have teams for that. Oh, you're welcome, Mark. Curtis Fair, I should get a pet eagle. I wish. I wish maybe I had a sanctuary or something and have a bald eagle. Mark says I'll save some M&Ms for me. Oh, thank you. I I wish I tried more of the food up there, more candies and stuff, because I have to say they're better. My favorite candy bar is Score and the toffee. I love it. It's been my favorite ever since I was little, and I throw them in the freezer, let them get nice and crisp, and eat those. And I know, like Toronto, I saw them everywhere. Like here in the States, they're kind of controversial with Heath bars. Heath is another version, but I found out that Heath bars are English toffee, and then Score bars are butter toffee. And I did a taste comparison with both of them, and believe it or not, it does taste different. But Score bars have more chocolate on them. Heath bars, they put like a thin layer of chocolate. So, and I like the looks of them better. Hey, Liam, welcome. See, that was the time I said I want to sign off. Everybody comes on. So, thank you for coming on. Thank you. Welcome in, Liam. Epic Nation HD, Liam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How was the movie? Liam, do you like my lights up in my room? The stars are going. Let's see if I can follow it. Uh, Hold on, I got to start over here. They're following the stars. It's a laser light, and then I got it like a bluish pink color in my room. I could change the colors like the CN Tower changes, and have party modes and that stuff. So I'm in my bedroom, believe it or not. So my roommate's asleep, so he and I'm in my room. You know, Kurt, I do need one. Eventually, that is definitely going to happen. But since I'm a train enthusiast, I need a train horn. That would a Leslie RS3L or a Leslie S3L. Um, Look, I'll type in the name of what the horn is, and you'll have to listen to the sound of it. But it's really a cool sounding horn. But the Leslie RS3L has two horns facing forward and one in the back. And then the S3L has three horns facing forward. And you have to look at the mount, like how it is. Whoops, Leslie, disregard that one. There you go. That's the correct one. Sean, do you have an arrow? Yeah, I read that. Sorry. Just going over the comments again. Liam, I gotta definitely tag along with you when you go to or we'll go to Pickle Barrel. I gotta try their food because believe it or not, we had a Pickle Barrel in Montana, as I said earlier, and it was like a place that sold subs, like sub sandwiches, like Subway, but far better, way better, and they give you a big pickle with it. Oh, Liam. All right, we'll see you later. Have a good one. Thanks for coming in. See you tomorrow at Epic Nation HD. Hope to chat with you later. Happy Labor Day weekend for everybody that's got a 3 day weekend. I was off yesterday. I was supposed to work. I had my bone marrow biopsy and I couldn't, it was still painful yesterday. Had to take Tylenol for it and didn't go to work. So I'm off today, the Saturday, and now we're into Sunday morning. I'm off. And then I go back to work tomorrow or Monday. So tomorrow. All right, guys. Well, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think it's a good time to wrap up. So that's 140 minutes. That's quite a long time. So, any of you guys got to work tomorrow or Monday? No problem, Kurt. Definitely. Glad you were able to make it. That was cool. Thank you, Trojan. I appreciate it. Thank you, Boom. I appreciate it as well. But I'll have to look up that pickle barrel, Mark. Let me copy it. I'm just going to copy and paste it in Google and look it up. What kind of food they got, or if they got food. I don't know what the pickle barrel is in Toronto. I'm unfamiliar with it. I wish I knew about it, but next time. Thank you, Jazz. Jazz0505. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Kurt. I'm doing better. My bone marrow. They took the bone was probably about that much, and it was probably about probably an eighth of an inch around. And I asked them to show it to me, and they did. And it's got to just heal back. Thank you, Juanita. All right, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping it up. I'll say my goodbyes now. So it's time to get some sleep. Boom says there used to be a keg steakhouse back in the day. Good night, Jazz. Good night, Juanita. All right, guys. I'm signing off. So I'll give you guys another minute to say goodbyes and say your goodbyes as well. Thank you, YouTube Rocks. Again, I'm gonna work on the mods and see who pops in here and add more people as well. So that way gives you the ability to post links and everything. Good night, Kurt. Thank you for everything. Good night, Boom. Oh, no problem, Boom. Glad I can allow that to happen. At least I ain't gotta rush off here like some people. I don't, and no, some of those ones that got more followers seem like they just rush, and I don't know what the rush is. They got a busy schedule, probably. I can't say, but all right, YouTube Rocks. Good night. All right, Mark Davis. Have a good night. All right, bye, guys. Have a good night. Trying to get my angle right. Bye. All right, signing off.